If there's any human being that you want to have a better relationship with, I really feel that there is so much power that Allah has given us in terms of being able to empower that relationship. What I would do is I would go back to something like the 5 love languages, right? And I would basically try and communicate love to this person with all of those love languages, right? So for example, I might want to give my dad a gift, right? That's one love language. I might want to send him a nice message with his like really good words, like words of affirmation. Okay, I might give him a longer hug when I meet him next. So what I would do is I'll really focus on these 5 love languages, and depending upon how deep you want to go, you could actually like work on each of these things every week. Like you could ensure that, for example, you give him one compliment and nice words and everything. You make it a habit to do that. It could be that you make it a habit to give him a gift. I don't know, especially guys, if we go out a lot, we just bring home a chocolate for your wife. Like that's a gift. I know it doesn't sound like a gift for guys, but for someone receiving it who has the love language of gifts, can really help. So I'd really go back to basics in terms of gifts and all these kind of things and how I can do that love thing. The other thing is that with parents, I think it's a very unique relationship, and I think so much of the parents thing is obedience, like actually obeying your parents, and then having that kindness, that softness, that kind of humility and all those things with them. And past that, the parents they just want good for you and they just want to see you succeed. So as long as that is being done in terms of those things, I think that would really help. And then of course, spending quality time. I think this is one of the big things for relationships, that even if their love language isn't quality time, really spending time with someone is very deep and it's very strong. The key is that it needs to be quality time. So if we're just sitting here doing nothing, like sometimes I do with the kids, it's not really quality time. Quality time is you guys out there doing something that you both enjoy. Now, for example, I could sit at home and play Uno. It's like a card game. I play with my daughter. If I played Uno with my daughter, that would be quality time. Like she really enjoys playing that game. And even though I don't enjoy it so much, it's quality time because I enjoy being with her. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be, okay, let's go outside and let's go to here and let's spend money. It can just be spending quality time together. It could even be talking. So those are some of the things that I would say in terms of closeness to the father or any of those kind of relationships. Linking to this, the whole thing around supporting the family, I think there's a lot of different ways that we can support our families. I think that they require different levels of support. Sometimes the support is emotional, sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's time, sometimes it's like doing things. So I think a lot of this is just making sure that your family know that you are there for them. And I think this is one of the most important things, because a lot of the times the whole point of the family, I feel, is that they need to know that they can rely on each other. So I know if I was going to move house, for example, I know I can rely on my brothers and sisters to help, right? And they know they can rely on me to help them, right? I'll probably be managing them or ordering them around, but they can rely on me to help. So I think the most important thing is like being there to help them, to support them. And this help and support, it doesn't just mean financially, emotionally. It's also in the sense where you want your family to have good, and the way you want them to have good is not only in this world but also in the akhirah. So financials, emotional, all these kind of supports are good. Physical support now, but a lot of it should be around directing them. How do we become a family of Jannah? This is one of the like big things I've got in my mind when I think about my family, and I think about my whole family with hundreds and maybe thousands of people in the past. And think, how do we become a family of Jannah? And I actually bought the domain name like 10 years ago, familyofjannah.com, right? I'm like, I want to do something with it one day. So the vision of us being in Jannah together, how can I achieve that vision? And this is why one of the things that I try and do is I try and give dates. And this year my brother's like, why don't we give dates and we give a Quran as well? And I'm like, yeah, that's a really good idea. Other things I can do to get them closer to Allah. And I think that sometimes when we're thinking about supporting and comforting our family, we think in a very dunya sense. But if we can actually make them think in the akhirah sense, not only does it benefit the akhirah, but it actually gets them to be more resilient. It gets them to be more successful in the dunya as well, because of their focus in the akhirah. Simple thing physically you could do is you could have a family group. We have a family group, and then I just share beneficial videos in there. So when I get a really good video, like one of those ones that melts your hearts or reframes your mind to the akhirah, just share it with your mom, share it with your dad, share it with your family. That way these guys really are consuming the good things that are going to help them without you lecturing them. So I think that would be a good thing.